Hello friends, welcome back, and if you're new to our channel, thank you for stopping by. Today it's a beautiful crochet pattern and I'm going to show you how we can make a star shaped doily which can be turned into a star shaped blanket as well. So let us start off with a slip knot and a number 10 hook. Now let us chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and slip stitch into the very first chain space so that a tiny ring is formed. See, our ring is ready. Now I am going to chain 1, which will not be counted as a stitch. After that I am going to work 3 number of double crochet. This is the second one, followed by the third double crochet. Once that is done, let's chain 2 and start off making another set of 3 double crochet. That's the second, followed by the third. Now again a chain of 2 is done and another set of 3 double crochet. This is a project where you can use all your scrap yarns, and for this project I am using different colored yarns, and as my yarn is a bit thick I am using number 10 hook. Now you can work a star shaped doily, or you can keep working and form a star shaped blanket as well. So my final 3 double crochet is done. Now I am going to chain 2 and slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. So the slip stitch is done. I chain 1 to secure my work and then snip it off. So after the first round is done, this is how it looks. Now I'm going to use my coral colored yarn. I made a slip knot and we can start off from any of the corners. That's the chain 2 space. Once the yarn is attached, I chain 1, which will not be counted as any stitch. After that, let us make 3 double crochet. And please remember to clip the loose end at the back side of the work. So my first double crochet is done, followed by the second and the third double crochet. Once that is done, let's chain 2 again and work another set of 3 double crochet in the same space. That's the first. This is the second double crochet, followed by the third. So our first cluster for the second round is done. Now what I need to do is I chain 2 and I am going to slip into the next chain 2 space and work 3 number of double crochet. That's done. Now let's chain 2, 1 and 2 and work another set of 3 double crochet in the same space. So that's the second corner which is being formed. Corner is done. Now let's chain 2 again and hop into the third corner space where I am going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So this is the second round of the pattern. It is a beautiful star shaped pattern, and see how easy it is to work. That's my double crochet, second one. This is the third double crochet. So our third corner is also done. Let's chain 2 and hop into the final corner for the chain 2 space and work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Two is done. Now let's work 3 double crochet again. That's the first one, followed by the second double crochet and the third. Once that is done, we are going to chain 2, 1 and 2 and slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. Now I'm going to chain 1 and snip off the yarn. So our second round is also complete. This is how it looks. Now I'll be using my green yarn and I'm ready with my slip knot, and we are going to start off at any of the corners. After attaching, I am going to chain 1, which will not be counted as any stitch. Once that is done, into the chain 2 space I am going to work 3 double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second double crochet and the third double crochet. Once that is done, let us chain 2 and work another set of 3 double crochet in the same chain 2 space. So our first corner is almost ready. So the corner is ready. Now in the chain 2 space in between the two corners, we are going to work the same thing, that is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So we are turning a square pattern into a star shape. You just need to watch carefully. Now the 3 double crochet done, chain 2, and I am working 3 double crochet in the same space. So it's done. Now let's hop into the second corner space where we need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. This is the sequence we must follow to work the third round of the pattern. It is very simple. We just need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet in the corners as well as in the chain 2 space in the middle. So I have worked and I am almost at the end. I have just worked my 3 double crochet. Now I just did a chain 2 and I'm going to work 3 double crochet in the same chain 2 space. That's the first, the second and the third. This is the third one, double crochet. Now I am going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. Now I chain 1 to secure my work and then I'm going to snip it off. So our third round is complete. I'm going to use my yellow yarn, so I have just done a slip knot, and we can start off from any of the points where the chain 2 space is there. So the slip knot is done. Now I am going to chain 1, which will not be counted as any stitch. After that I am going to work 3 double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second double crochet and the third double crochet. Once that is done, let us chain 2. After the chain of 2 is done, again 3 double crochet needs to be done in the same chain 2 space. So this is the third double crochet. Once that is done, now we are going to hop into the next chain 2 space where the fans are there. That means 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. At those points we are going to work the clusters, chain 2 plus cluster. I just worked a double crochet. This is the second and this is the third double crochet. Now let's jump into the chain 2 space again and work 3 double crochet. The first, followed by the second and the third. Once that is done, let us chain 2 and work another set of 3 double crochet in the same space. This is the sequence that needs to be followed for the fourth round of the pattern. See, I am almost at the end of this round. I just chain 2 and I am working a set of 3 double crochet in the chain 2 space. So my 3 double crochets are done. Now we are just going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. So the fourth round of the pattern is done. I just chained 1 so as to secure the work, and fourth round is complete. Into the fifth round, I'll be working with my pink yarn. A slip knot is already done. I pull the yarn through it. I chain 1, which will not be counted as 1 double crochet. After that, let us work 3 double crochet. 1, 2, that's the second double crochet, and the third double crochet, followed by a chain of 2. In the same point, we are going to work 3 double crochet again. That's the first. This is the second double crochet, followed by the third double crochet. So right now this is how it looks. Now we are going to work in that gap. We are going to make 3 double crochet. You must remember to clip the loose end at the back side of the work. So my second double crochet is done. This is the third double crochet. Now into the chain 2 space, we are going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, 3 double crochet done. Now let us chain 2 and work another set of 3 double crochet. 1, 2 and 3. So this is the sequence for the fifth round of the pattern. So I just worked my 3 double crochet. Now into the chain 2 space, we need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. Sequence is very easy. We just need to work all around in the same manner. So I'll catch up with you once I reach the starting point. So for this round, basically what is being done is into the chain 2 space, we are working 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and in the gap we are working just 3 double crochet. So here I am working in the chain 2 space, so I did 3 double crochet, chain 2, and now I am working my 3 double crochet. Finally it's done, and here in the gap I am going to work 3 double crochet. That's the first. This is the second one, followed by the third. Here are 3 double crochets done, and now I am going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. So this particular round is complete. I chain 1 so as to secure the work, and now I am going to use my scissors to snip it off. How pretty and colorful our doily has started looking. Now I am going to introduce another yarn. It's a chrome yellow, and I just did a slip knot. Now the new yarn will be introduced into the chain 2 space, and we are just going to make a chain of 1. Once that is done, I am going to work 3 number of double crochet. That's the first. This is the second one, followed by the third double crochet. Once that is done, let us chain 2. 1 and 2. Once that is done, we need to work 3 double crochet again. That's the first. This is the second, followed by the third double crochet. This is how it looks. Now what we are going to do is we are going to jump into that gap as well and work 3 number of double crochet. So it's done. Now into the other gap we are going to work 3 number of double crochet. So we have worked 2 sets of 3 double crochet. Now into the chain 2 space we need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So this is the sequence that is to be followed for the 6th round of the pattern. So here my 3 double crochet is also ready. Now we are going to work all around in the similar fashion, and here I am almost at the end of this particular round. I have just worked 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and now into the gap I am going to work 3 number of double crochet. That's the second followed by the third double crochet. Now into the next gap we need to work 3 double crochet. That's the first, followed by the second as well as the third double crochet. And now let us slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. So our 6th round is also complete. See how beautiful it looks. I chain 1 and now I'm going to snip off the yarn. See, this is how it looks. Now I'm using my coral yarn again. I made a slip knot, and we can start off from any of those pointed ends. With a slip knot I'm going to attach the yarn and work a chain. Yes, once that is done we are going to work 3 double crochet into the same space. That's the first double crochet, followed by the second double crochet and the third double crochet. Let us do that. Once 3 double crochet is done, we need to chain 2, 1 and 2, and now work 3 double crochet again into the same chain 2 space. So here my 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet is almost done. Now see, this is how it looks. We need to work in the see, actually we have 3 points, but we are just going to work in the 2 gaps. This is the first gap where I am working. Actually this is being done so that we get the star shape. Now this point is to be skipped. After that, in the next gap we are going to work 3 double crochet. That's the second and the third. Once that is done, now we are going to work in the chain 2 space, which is always the same. That is 3 double crochet, chain 2, double crochet done. Let us chain 2, 1 and 2 and work another set of 3 double crochet. Here I have finished working at the tips. Now we need to work 3 double crochet in that gap. That's the first 3 double crochet that we need to work. I'm going to skip this point and jump into the next gap and work 3 double crochet before I work in the chain 2 space. So this is the sequence that is to be followed for the 7th round of the pattern. This is how it looks. Actually we have 3 points, but we are going to work only in the 2 points. We are going to skip the middle one because we need to get a star shape to our doily. Now into the chain 2 space we are just going to repeat what we have been doing. That is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. This is the 7th round of the pattern, and in the similar sequence we are going to work all around, and I'm going to catch up with you once I reach the starting point. So here I have almost reached the starting point. I worked my 3 double crochet cluster, then I skipped one space, and then in the next space I just worked my 3 double crochet. Now we are going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3, and now I am going to chain 1 to secure my work and snip off our yarn. So the 7th round of the pattern is complete. I am going to introduce my green yarn. So with the slip knot I am again ready, and we have to start off from any of the pointed ends or the chain 2 space. I chain 1, which will not be counted as any stitch, and now again we need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet as the first double crochet, followed by the second double crochet and the third double crochet. Once that is done, let us chain 2 and work another set of 3 double crochet in the same chain 2 space. So my 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet is ready. Now what we need to do is we are going to work in all the gaps. There we are going to work 3 double crochet sets. That's the second double crochet, and this is the third double crochet. So our first set of 3 double crochet is done. Now I'm going to hop into the next gap and work another set of 3 double crochet. That's the first. This is the second double crochet, followed by the third double crochet. Now into the next gap I am going to work 3 double crochet. Here we are working 3 double crochet in each of the gaps other than the chain 2 spaces. Now into the chain 2 space we need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and this is constant throughout. So let's work a chain of 2 and work 3 double crochet again into the same space. So my 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet is complete. Now this is how it looks, and now similarly we are going to work in the same fashion. This is the 8th round. After working 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, we are going to work 3 sets of 3 double crochet. That's my first set. This is my first set of 3 double crochet. To the next gap I am going to work 3 double crochet again. Now into the third gap we need to work 3 double crochet again. That's the first. This is the second double crochet, followed by the third. After that again we need to jump into the chain 2 space where we need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So the sequence is very simple. All around we are going to repeat this sequence. This is a beautiful pattern, and we can use it for making a star-shaped blanket. So we are working a set of 3 double crochets in between those pointed ends, and if you count the pointed ends we have 8 such points. And what we need to do is we need to work all around, and here I'm almost done. I have reached the starting point and my set of 3 double crochet is already done. Now I'm going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. Once I do a slip stitch, I'm going to chain 1 and then snip off the yarn. Off with a new yarn. It's the yellow one this time, and a slip knot is done, and in the similar fashion we are going to attach it into the chain 2 space. Sorry, I just went out of the frame. I chain 1, which is not counted as any stitch. After that we need to work 3 number of double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second double crochet. That's the third one. Now let us chain 2. and then work a set of 3 double crochet again into the same space. So here it is done. Now let us work a set of 3 double crochet. That's the first one. This is the second double crochet. This is the third double crochet in the gaps. Here we are going to work 3 double crochet in all the gaps. That's the first double set that I just completed. This is the second set that I am working. Second set of 3 double crochet. Now jumping into the next gap to work my third set of 3 double crochet. This is the third set. Now into the next gap we need to work our fourth set. So that's done. Now into the chain 2 space we need to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So this is the sequence that we need to follow in this particular round. Not very tough. So 3 double crochet done. Let's chain 2 and let's work the remaining half, that is 3 double crochet. And this is how it looks. We need to follow the sequence all around. So let us work a set of 3 double crochet again. That's the first batch. So the first batch is done. Now the second batch of 3 double crochet into that gap, it is being worked. So a second batch of 3 double crochet is done. Let's work a third batch. So the third batch is also done. Now finally the fourth batch is being worked. Into the chain 2 space we are going to work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. And this is the sequence that we are going to repeat all around. So after working in the same sequence, I have almost reached the starting point, and here too I am working my third batch of 3 double crochet. This is the final batch, or the fourth batch. That's the first double crochet followed by the second double crochet and the third double crochet. Now what we need to do is we are going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3. After that, let us chain 1 and then snip off the yarn. So this is how it looks. So beautiful, so vibrant and colorful. Now I'm starting off again with a new yarn. Just did a slip knot, and we are going to start at the same points, that is into the chain 2 space. I am going to chain 1, which will not be counted as any stitch. After that, by now you all know what we need to do, that is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So my 3 double crochet is done. Let us chain 2 and work a set of 3 double crochet again in the same space. That's the first one. This is the second double crochet, and this is the third double crochet. Now if you see, we have 1, 2 and here in the middle, if we count, we have total 5 such gaps. So what we are going to do is we are going to work initially in the 2 gaps. That's the first batch in my first gap. Now let's work in the second gap. This is the second batch of 3 double crochet. Then please watch carefully. Then I am going to skip this point and move to the next point and work 3 double crochet. That is being done so that we get that dip, because we are working a star. So the 3 double crochet is done, and finally another set of 3 double crochet is being worked. 1, 2 and 3. Straight and simple. Now let's work in the chain 2 space. By now we all know what we need to do, that is 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So here my 2 double crochet done. This is the third one. So this is how it looks. I am working into my first gap. That's complete. Now I am working 3 double crochet into my second gap. After that we are going to skip the third gap and then start working 3 double crochet into the fourth gap. That's the second double crochet. And now let's work the third double crochet. So it's complete. Now finally I am working the fourth set of 3 double crochet. Before working 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into the chain 2 space. This is the sequence that we need to follow for this particular round. It is not at all tough. So I have finished working at my chain 2 space. Now let's follow the sequence and work all around, and I am going to catch up with you once I reach the starting point. So here I have almost reached the starting point, and I am working my set of 3 double crochet. So final set of 3 double crochet is being worked. That's the second, and this is the third one. Once that is done, we are going to slip stitch into the topmost chain of the very first chain of 3, and then I am going to chain 1 to secure my work and snip off the yarn. Now let's work a final round. I just did a slip knot, and I am going to attach my new yarn with the help of chain of 1. And now I am going to work 3 double crochet into the chain 2 space. That's the first double crochet. This is the second, followed by the third, and then work a chain of 2 and another set of 3 double crochet in the same space. So 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet is done. Now we are going to work into all the gaps in between the 2 chain 2 spaces. Actually we need to work 5 such groups of 3 double crochet. That's the first one, followed by the second group of 3 double crochet, now let's move on to the next space and work our 3 double crochet. So 3 groups of 3 double crochets are done. Now working my 4th group of 3 double crochet. Here finally working the 5th set of 3 double crochet. Before working the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. So this is the sequence that we are going to follow in this particular round. Now you may work this star shaped blanket as big as you like, but I am going to stop here and I am going to show you how the final step is to be done. After working the points in the chain 2 space, we need to work 5 such groups of 3 double crochet. So here I am almost at the end of this row. Now I'm going to show you what we need to do. Working my final set of 3 double crochet. The first one is done. This is the second, followed by the third double crochet. Now we are going to slip stitch into the very first chain of 3. After that I chain 1 and then snip off the yarn. This is how our crochet doily looks. Right now I'm going to call it a doily because it is not big enough to be called a blanket. Now you can work as much as you like. You may keep increasing the rounds. Now I'm going to show you how we can make the pom-poms. So here I'm attaching my new yarn again into the chain 2 space and I do a chain. After that, to secure my work, I am going to work a single crochet. Once the single crochet is done, let us chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now into the third chain we are going to work half done double crochets. That's the first. Now let us work the second half done double crochet, and I'll tell you how many times you need to do. This is the second one. This is the third half done double crochet, followed by the fourth, and finally the fifth half done double crochet. Once that is done, if you count the stitches on the hook, we have 6 such stitches. After that, yarn over, pull through all. So that is what we get. After that, just below it into the chain space, we are going to slip stitch. So a tiny pom-pom is done. Now let us chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and slip stitch into the same space because here we are working at the tip of the star. After that, I again chain 6 and we are going to repeat the process of making the pom-poms. So into the third chain we are going to work 5 number of half done double crochets. It's better we keep a count. That's the second, followed by the third, that's the fourth one, and the fifth. Now if we count, we have 6 stitches on our hook. Now yarn over, pull through all. After that, we are going to slip stitch into the chain space just below it. So our pom-pom is done. Now let us chain 3 again, 1, 2 and 3, and slip stitch into the next gap. So this is the process we need to follow for making the pom-poms all around our doily. So I am going to catch up with you once I reach the end of this particular round. Till then, let us keep making the pom-poms. Now this particular process of making pom-poms can be used in our other projects as well. It is a very helpful one. Now I'm going to catch up with you once I reach the starting point of my work. So here I am almost at the end of this particular round, working a pom-pom by making a chain of 6. Once the chain of 6 is done, let us make 5 number of half done double crochets so that the pom-pom can be formed. And then we are going to slip stitch into the chain space just below it so that a cute and neat little pom-pom is ready. Now let's slip stitch into the chain space just below it. After that, making a chain of 3 and then working a single crochet into that space. And now let's make our final pom-pom before we slip stitch and complete this particular round. So here I'm working my 5 number of half done double crochets so that we get a nice little pom-pom. Once we have 6 stitches on the hook, we are going to do a yarn over and pull through all the stitch and then slip stitch into the chain just below the pom-pom. And then let us chain 3. And then we are going to complete this particular round by working a single crochet, or you can do a slip stitch also in the starting point. Then let's chain 1 to secure our work. So finally our star doily is complete. This is how it looks. It's such a beautiful one. And now the loose ends, we need to hide it with the tapestry needle. So finally our bright and vibrant star doily is done. Now you can, as I told you, you can use this beautiful pattern to make a beautiful star shaped blanket, or it can be used for making tablecloth as well. It is going to look just wonderful. Now you can use different colored yarns, you can use solid yarn. It is up to you what you want to do. See, this is how it looks. It's such a beautiful project, easy to work, easy to remember, and a star doily of a different kind with beautiful pom-poms attached to it. Oh, I'm just loving it. And so what I would like to suggest is you should try this beautiful project, and I'm sure you are going to love it. So thank you for staying till the end. If you all have liked the video, do give a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family members. If you are new to our channel, do consider subscribing and stay tuned for interesting videos. So till we meet again, it is bye-bye for today. Bye.